My topic is management of inflammatory bowel disease, emerging options. As we know, in 1980 we have limited options in each and everything. In IBD we have salzopirins, steroid and surgery. But in 2015 we have multiple options. The overview of IBD, current treatment options and limitation, and emerging options. As we know, inflammatory bowel disease, it's a chronic inflammation of gastrointestinal tract. It occurs due to dysregulation of host immune response, which leads to chronic intestinal inflammation in genetically susceptible population. We have two types of ulcerative IBD. First is ulcerative colitis, which occurs around 90-95% of patients, and second is Crohn's disease, which occurs in 5 to 10%, but since last 5 years, it also become quite leading. This is the slide shows the response, localization, symptoms. It's almost similar. To be very frank, in clinical practice, it's quite impossible to differentiate UC versus Crohn's in most of the patients. The common symptoms belongs to intestine as well as intestine. In intestine, it has diarrhea, rectal bleeding, which is more common in case of ulcerative colitis. In case of Crohn's, it's abdominal pain along with other consecutive symptoms. In other systemic involvement, main is the joint. Peripheral arthritis is quite common, along with ankylosing spondylitis, sacroiliitis. Ocular region like iritis, episcleritis and keratitis also occurs quite common, and other skin lesions. For diagnosis, we need full package of clinical history, physical examination, laboratory investigation, imaging like abdominal CT or MRI angiography, as well as endoscopy. About the pathophysiology of IBD, the quite is known, but still very most things are unknown. The role of gut microbiota, immune dysregulations, T cells, macrophages, cytokines are well known fact, but somewhat is missing. For molecular pathophysiology, we know there is a balance between pro-inflammatory mediator with the anti-inflammatory mediation. When this is disturbed, then there is inflammatory bowel disease. So basically, two phase of pathophysiology exist. First is vascular phase, which occurs because of lymphocytic activations, and second is the intestinal phase, which occurs mainly because of activated lymphocytic causes inflammation because of NF-kappa B receptors. In vascular phase, there is a lot of integrins along with other selected markers secreted by the lymphocytes. And for intestinal phase, there is a main force behind it, NF-kappa B receptors. So, for current treatment option, we have antibiotics like metronidazole along with probiotics. We have 5 ASA molecules. We have corticosteroids in different dose, in different form. We have biologics, infliximab, adalimumab, and we have immunomodified like cyclosporin and methotrexate. Our goal of treatment in IBD is quite changed since the last 10 years. We want cure of the disease as well as induction of remission in term of clinical as well as mucosal healing. We want to continue maintenance of remission as well as prevention of complications, and side effect monitoring also required. We have multiple options with lot of limitations. 5-ASA, which is most commonly used medications, had its side effects. Main is the hematological abnormality with thrombocytopenia and anemia, along with some hypersensitivity reactions. Corticosteroid, we know about the lot of side effects, including impaired glucose tolerance, adrenal suppression, hypertension, predisposing for infection. Methotrexate is a bone marrow suppression, and anti-TNF molecules, which is since last 4 to 5 years is more used. It causes reactivation of latent infection, mostly tuberculosis. It causes cutaneous reactions, hematological and systemic complication, and some local side effect. The Greek mythology to bring the concept of chimeric. We have multiple options in TNF antibodies now. First options, which was nowadays not common, is afalimumab. The infliximab, which is a chimeric product with 25% mouse protein, is a quite commonly used. Then it came to adalimumab, which is a fully humanized antibody. But in India, we are lacking we are hesitating for the use of infliximab and other biologics. This is a study which was published in Indian Journal of Gastro 3 years back, in which we use infliximab in 0.3% of cases in UC and 2% in Crohn's disease. The cause is first the cost. The cost is 30,000 per vial. The dose for infliximab in UC is 5 mg per kg per body weight. It's and repeated every 8 weeks. So it's a quite costly treatment. And second, it causes the activation, disruption of the granulomas, release of bacteria, and activation of latent infection, especially tuberculosis. And it's reported in each and every site tuberculosis activate infection, latent infection was activated. So why does the response to anti-TNF agents shows individual variation? Because there is excessive loss of antigen agents in the stool. There is a particular antibodies in individuals and proteolytic cleavage. The other molecules which came recently is the vedolizumab. It's a alpha-4 beta-7 integrin inhibitor, which protect the endothelium. Another product which came in picture in last 2 years is a curcumin. Although it is a kid on the block, it's a biological active phytochemical compounds which is obtained from the Curcumia longa. Is the anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-proliferative, anti-genetic actions are well known. As the sir said, I will skip the slides. The mechanism of action of curcumin. There are some limited studies which are maximum of 89 patients in last 2 to 3 years, in which there is the dose was different, the response rate was different, the parameters were different. None of these study was randomized controlled study, but the crux of these studies is it causes it prevents relapse along as well as it's maintain remissions. It was used along with mesalamine 5-ASA compounds. We have conventional curcumin, which is poorly absorbed. It's undetectable in plasma. It doesn't reach systemic organ and tissue, but it have a high dosage and poor GI tolerability. So the bioenhanced curcumin came in picture. It's a nano-sized hydrophilic droplets of curcumin. It's improved absorption, better tissue penetration. A long list is there for inflammatory bowel disease. In brief, this is about the mechanism of this management algorithm. For induction of remission, for mild to moderate activity, we use topical or oral mesalamine compounds. For severe activity, we use steroids. For severe UC which not responding to steroid, we use infliximab or cyclosporins. To summarize, ladies and gentlemen, it's a better understanding of the pathophysiology of IBD has led to development of new drugs. Steroid, 5-ASA, azathioprine remain the mainstay of treatment even today, specifically in India. Major developments are in management of acute severe colitis. Biologicals and cyclosporins are the standard of care for acute severe colitis. But the newer drug targeted against NF-kappa B receptor like curcumin are now on the horizon.